Good morning from Julia Carroll in my 2026 weight loss journey. Today is Monday, August, I don't even know what date it is. Maybe the 24th, I think. Although to be honest with you, yeah, it's the 24th. I think it is anyway. I don't really pay attention to time. But we're more than 3 weeks into my 31-day rebounder challenge. And I just got done using the rebounder. And unfortunately, I really can't get a good video of me using it because I completely changed my living room. I moved all my Legos upstairs. So I no longer have a table down here. It's behind my couch. It's a foldable table. It's behind my couch right now. I might have to get a smaller table to put down here. That's the one I have is an 8-foot table. And it's just too big. It's too big. I can't really get it in the bedroom upstairs, so it's behind the couch. But maybe I'll have to trade it in for something a little more useful. But as you can see, I am walking. I've been on here for 1 minute, 45 seconds. I delayed the video because my dog was barking, but she has stopped now. I'm gonna turn the fan on because I'm feeling it. But how are things going? The rebounder's going great, and I'm gonna do another challenge for myself in September. Only I think I'm not gonna try and do every day because that has proven too difficult in light of life, other things. Because when I did all the cleaning downstairs and moved my Legos upstairs, cleaned out my upstairs so I could put the stuff up there, I did a lot of physical labor. And getting the tables I had downstairs, upstairs was no easy feat. So I kind of realized in order to do things like my rebounder challenge, my rebounder for when I do it, along with the treadmill, kind of need to be the focus of the exercise that day. Because I just don't have quite the stamina, the physical strength to do the rebounder, walk the dog, clean the house, do all that. So I have to pace myself. And unfortunately, I'm just not very good physically to be able to do all of the above. So it's kind of like if I'm gonna expend my physical energy, it needs to be on the rebounder or needs to be cleaning. So right now I have to sort of pace myself and figure out what's the most important thing, which is all doable. And with the idea of getting more and more physically conditioned by walking, rebounding, I will get to be my physical strength stronger. I'll get to do where I could do the rebounding, the walking the dog, exercise all in one day. Because if I try to do all of it today, I'm kind of out of commission for a day or two. I'm just too physically tired. So I'm like, okay, pace yourself, because I also still have my garden I tend to, which is not a lot since most of it's just growing. However, we're approaching fall, so I need to think about what I want to try and plant in the fall and getting the soil ready for that. So there's all these things I'm planning, and and unfortunately, my physical body, the position I've put it in, is sort of like, it really doesn't do all of it at one time, all on the same day. There's pacing involved. And that's just where we are. That's how I had to start. But, I've started, and I do the rebounder. So I think my 30-day challenge in September for the rebounder specifically is going to be 15 minutes, 5 days a week. Monday through Friday seems the most advantageous. And then of course do 10 to 15 minutes on the treadmill as well. Walk the dog, that kind of thing. And then do some of the other stuff because I do still need to thin out my hoard. I have a bunch of stuff that I've purchased that I just don't need. So just gotta go with that. getting stronger every day. How's the food going? That's a little problematic. I've been attacking the kettle corn and the salted peanuts. You know, I kept thinking, I was praying to Jesus this morning. I'm like, you know, Lord, if you just stop the temptation, I think I could do okay. But then I kind of had a thought. And I'm not sure it's always just Satan tempting me when it comes to the food. Because it was sort of like Jesus is pointing out, you know, once Satan hooks you with a mental pattern of sin, like associating doing something good and wanting to be rewarded for it, and my reward is food. So when I exercise, when I clean the house, when I do something good, I'm like, I want to eat. And I'm not sure that's Satan tempting me so much as that's been my mental pattern the most of my life. So my mind immediately goes to, I want to celebrate and reward myself with food. So I've built a mental pattern in my mind with compulsive binge eating. And it's not just Satan needing to tempt me and push me in that direction. My flesh has been conditioned. My mindset, the way my brain works, has been conditioned to reward myself for doing good. Doing the will of God, I reward myself with sin. That's about the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That's dumb. So I need to break those mental patterns. So I no longer associate, okay, I've done well. I want to reward myself with junk food or too much food. Because food is a reward a lot of times. It's not just sustenance and fuel. It is a reward mechanism or comfort. So I need to break the mental associations and use food more as, it can still be celebratory. It can still be somewhat of a reward, but the pattern has got to be broken that my reward for righteousness, exercise, cleaning the house, whatever, it's not food related. You know, haven't quite gotten to the point yet where I actually associate Jesus himself with the reward, which would help if I did that, because Jesus is our ultimate reward. That's who we are serving, and that's who we will enjoy an eternity of. We'll see his creation in heaven, of course, undiluted. Everything about him we will know in the course of eternity, just as we'll know each other. But the reward of heaven is Jesus, is the Father, is getting to know them as God. So I need to start thinking of him as my reward and that righteousness now. You know, walking on the treadmill, turning down the kettle corn or the salted peanuts, the way I eat them, the compulsive binge eating tendency. The reward for saying no to that is continued closeness with God. Not that God pulls away from me when I sin. However, sin does not always bring you closer to people. It tends to drive them away a little bit. That's just normal. And I want to enjoy the closeness of God and hear, well done, Julia, well done. That's my goal. That's my heart. That's what I want for myself. So I know I need to work towards that. And we're approaching 10 minutes. So I think I'm going to stop the treadmill and maybe walk a little bit or turn it way down, because I was at 2.0 and I'm going way, way slower, where I'm just doing this, kind of doing a cool down. But I'll pan around my living room a little bit and you can hopefully see how I've thinned everything way the heck out. And I hope you got it. Because I've thinned it out and I still have more thinning out to do. And I haven't walked the dog yet, and I think I should try and do that today, but we'll see. We shall see. 11 minutes, coming up on 11 minutes. I might try and do 15. I can feel it in my low back, which means I need to start stretching, being on my feet, moving the low back and the hips, standing for longer stretches to be healthy, because I have visions and dreams of that. I noticed I have now 31 subscribers as of like yesterday, Sunday the 23rd. So thank you for the 31 people who've subscribed. I really appreciate that. And the people viewing these videos, I can't tell you how exciting it is to see, oh, another subscriber, shock of shocks, you know, because I want to do these videos. I want to show my progress, but I'm going to be transparent. I wouldn't mind this being a monetized channel that could make money, revenue stream in the future. But I do also want to share my faith in Christ, why I believe. I want to share my journey of weight loss and the highs and the sometimes lows of doing this, because I wouldn't mind inspiring somebody who's thinking, you know, I'm 54 years old, over 300 pounds. Is there any hope for me? And the answer to that would be yes. Just start doing what you can do. And if all that is spending, you walk in your living room for 5 to 7 minutes multiple times a day, walk in your living room for those 5 to 7 minutes. If you normally get 3 helpings of food at dinner, start with 2, you know? If you normally eat a gallon of ice cream, well, maybe don't buy ice cream next week. That kind of thing. You know, baby steps in the right direction is incredibly powerful, because that's how you retrain your brain. And I genuinely believe it is a retraining of the brain. There's a scripture verse, and I can't remember exactly where it is. It's in one of the Gospels. Jesus had cast out, or he was talking about casting out demons, and he was telling his disciples that you can cast out a demon, but if you don't fill the person, the demon will just come back and bring 7 more wicked with it. So it's never cast out again. So it occurs to me, it's not just okay to change no longer have a mental association with doing good, being rewarded with food. I have to replace it with a new pattern my mind goes to. And my pattern should be, I want it to be, that when I do this, it is a moment of praise to Jesus, that, oh, Jesus, you were with me in this. You enabled me to do 15 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on the rebounder. My back hurts, but thank you that I have the physical ability to do it. Thank you so much for that. I so appreciate that. Thank you for being my reward in this. And then honestly, maybe just start asking him, like I should just start asking him, Jesus, you know, please let me seeking you at the end of doing this exercise, you to be my reward, and that those pathways would be redrawn in my brain, that the dopamine would be the hit of being with you and honoring you and pleasing you, instead of wanting kettle corn to be the dopamine hit. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm going. So we're doing that. We're going to do that. I'm going to do that. So I thank you for listening to this video and being with me while I do my treadmill. And I will eventually figure out to use my tripod to do a lot of these videos on the rebounder, but bouncing around, it's hard to hold on to something like this, bouncing on the rebounder, because I do kind of have to hold on a little bit. Anyway, we're 15 minutes in. I'm going to bid you adieu. Julia Carroll from my 2026 weight loss journey. Take care. Bye-bye.